Hello my lovelies and welcome to another fragrance related video. It's been a little while, but I'm glad you guys waited for me. Today we're talking about a leather fragrance and a dupe of a fragrance that is really popular, okay? Today we're talking about Italian Leather by Flavia. And maybe you guys can tell what it might be duping from this bottle. Does it remind you of anything? If you said Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford, you would be correct, okay? So this is a Tuscan Leather clone by Flavia, and today we're gonna delve into it. So what Tuscan Leather consists of, it is mainly a leather, thyme, and raspberry fragrance, okay? There are some ambers, some jasmines, woody notes, things like that in the fragrance also, but the main things that people get from it usually is, and there's olibanum also, but the main thing is like that raspberry and leather. People always talk about that, and there's also a very noticeable thyme note. So I'm just gonna spray this on and let's talk about this dupe. Is it good? Is it worth the purchase? Let's see, okay? So this is gonna be my scent of the day. 2 sprays. Let's see, okay? So yeah, right off the bat, you get this really tart, tart raspberry. It's not a very sugary raspberry, it's more like very tart, okay? So a masculine type of raspberry in my opinion. Even though this scent has been said that it is unisex, I think it leans a little masculine, but even women can wear this. Just be aware that the raspberry note in this is mainly tart and not a sweet raspberry. So if you want to wear this, just be aware that it's more leaning toward that kind of tartness, okay? So yeah, you get that tartness. I get a greenness of sorts, this kind of medicinal greenness, and I think that that is thyme that I'm getting. And then I get this really nice leather. The leather in this is a mix between that kind of normal like black leather and that suede. There's kind of this fuzzy feeling to the leather, but it also has the same notes as, for example, ombre leather, like this kind of a leather jacket or car interior type of leather. So it's kind of a mix between the two. And what I noticed when I got this was that I was surprised by the fact that it wasn't sweet. I thought that it was gonna be sweet raspberry and a very powdery soft leather. And in this, the leather is not that kind of super powdery suede type. No, it is quite animalic suede, okay? So it does smell like actual leather, okay? Like, and that raspberry is more like just the raspberry by itself without any sweet, artificial sweetness or anything like that. I also do get the jasmine here. It is just giving this a little bit of a floral facet in the middle, but it is definitely on the background of this fragrance. I have tested this out, and my first impression of it is that it is way more sharp than I thought initially from the notes that I saw, this being kind of like marketed. I thought that it was gonna be way softer suede, and more of a fabric type of suede and less animalic suede, but this is animalic suede, okay? And the raspberry, as I said, is not very sweet. So definitely a masculine, a little bit of a sharp leather fragrance, okay? I find this way more rugged than, for example, ombre leather is. To me, this seems way more rugged, and I don't know if it is just this kind of dupe. Maybe the actual Tuscan leather is softer. I've heard it to some people registers very soft. So I think that this dupe, this Flavia dupe, the Italian leather is just a little bit more probably animalic than the actual Tuscan leather. So what I get from this is that sharp, kind of a little bit suede, very animalic leather, tart raspberry, jasmine, and maybe there's a amber background, but that is nothing like too sweet or not very ambery. There's just a little bit of a facet of amber, but it's definitely in the background. Mainly it is a sharper leather, okay? So to me there's this kind of it smells like a very natural leather. For some reason it makes me think of cowboys and saddles and stables and things like that. It is not like stable smelling, but there is a greenness to this fragrance that kind of is very dominant. That thyme note with the jasmine gives it a little bit of this kind of a greenery aspect that makes it feel more kind of natural smelling, and it turns this way more animalic in my opinion. It also smells, yeah, like an animalic leather, definitely. So if you're not into animalic leather and you're more into that soft powdery suede, like this might be too much for you. This is actually leathery. I think that it has some similarities to my Maison Alhambra amber leather, which is a ombre leather clone. I think that they are quite similar. I feel like it is just about whether or not you want this kind of outdoorsy rugged smell, which would be this one, Italian leather, or you want this kind of sophisticated manufactured leather. Think car seat leather. Which one do you like? Do you like that natural leather? Then go with this Italian leather. And if you like that kind of a black leather jacket leather, manufactured leather, very clean leather, then go with amber and leather. That's kind of like my thoughts on this. I tried this a couple of times in the last week, and what I can say about it is that, yeah, it definitely leans more masculine. It is green, it has green notes. If you don't like green notes, it might be too much for you. It is kind of a nice leather though. I need to say that I like the fact that there's this blend of suede and a little bit sharper black leather. Kind of, it's a interesting blend. I would have wished that the raspberry would have been more sweet, but I guess then it wouldn't be as masculine as it is. So this is definitely suitable for men, and for women you might have to layer this with something a little more feminine to give it that feminine edge. I'm actually really inspired to try this with some of my floral fragrances. I feel like they would go nicely together because of the green notes in this one. The longevity on this one is pretty good. I get 8 hours, okay? So 8 hours on 2 sprays on my skin, and it is a very nice fragrance. The raspberryness kind of goes away at some point a little bit, and you're left with this kind of a fuzzier leather. The leather note also kind of like softens a little bit as you wear it. So I think that it becomes more unisex and less masculine in the long run when you wear it. And I think that it's definitely very sexy, very interesting fragrance, and I really like this dupe, okay? I'm not so sure about how close it is to Italian leather, as I don't remember what Italian leather smells like exactly. I've tried it, but I honestly can't remember exactly. I have a feeling that it was a little softer than this one, but this one is a nice standalone fragrance. So if you are into leather fragrances, maybe you should try this one out. This is Italian leather by Flavia, as I said. And I have not tried Flavia before. This is my first ever Flavia fragrance, and honestly I'm pretty impressed. Also the bottle is kind of a good quality. It is a very heavy bottle, and this one kind of like fits very snugly, and I think the presentation is quite nice. I find this looks very nice on my vanity, so plus points to Flavia for it. So yeah, definitely, would I say this was a blind buy success? Yes, it was. I paid 30 euros for this fragrance, and I feel like because the longevity is so good, because it is quite a nice blend of smells, it's a very versatile one. I feel like I can wear this during spring, autumn and winter time easily. It's not overpowering. It's exactly my forte. Kind of a moderate sillage, moderate projection. It's a very nice fragrance in my opinion. I think that it's definitely worth the money. I think I would give it something like 8.5 out of 10. I really like it. I wish it was a little more suede and a little bit sweeter, but that is just my own personal preference. If it would have had those things, I would have given it 10 out of 10. So definitely I think you should check this out if you can find it. It's a good dupe. I can't say if it's 1-to-1 as I said, because I don't remember how Tuscan leather smells like. It's been such a long time since I tried that fragrance, and I feel sad that I can't compare this perfectly for you guys. But just as a standalone leather fragrance, I think that this would be a very good option for you. But I do think that owning both this Italian leather and like amber and leather from Maison Alhambra, for example, is kind of redundant. They're a little bit similar in my opinion. I don't think you probably need both. I think you should go with whatever you like. If you like that classic leather, like a car interior leather, then with the ombre leather, amber leather, whatever, stuff like that. And if you are more into that rugged cowboy greenery type of smells, then I think you'd enjoy Italian leather or Tuscan leather. So yeah, that's just my opinion on this fragrance, and I hope you guys like this video, and I see you guys in my next one. Bye!